Have you ever felt tired of everything? Tired of the endless scrolling, the comparisons, the pressure to look successful, the stress of not having it all figured out? You're not alone. In a world drowning in information but starving for wisdom, many of us feel lost. But here's a thought. What if the answers we're looking for aren't new? What if the solutions to modern problems were written thousands of years ago? The ancient philosophers wrestled with the same struggles: fear, uncertainty, identity, meaning, suffering. Their wisdom isn't just history, it's a toolkit for life, right here, right now. In this video, we'll explore how ancient wisdom, from Stoicism to Aristotle, from Socrates to the Buddha, help us face the chaos of modern life with clarity, purpose, and peace. The problem of overthinking and anxiety, the Stoic solution. Let's start with one of the biggest modern diseases, anxiety, that constant buzzing in the back of your mind. What if this happens? What if that doesn't work? Will I be successful? Will they like me? What if I fail? You wake up with it, go to sleep with it, and it only gets worse with the constant noise from social media, news, and endless notifications. But 2,000 years ago, a former slave named Epictetus taught something revolutionary. It's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. We suffer not from events, but from our judgments about them. Epictetus. Think about it. The job interview didn't cause your suffering. Your thoughts about, what if I mess up, did. The breakup didn't destroy you. Your mind story of, I'm not enough, did. Epictetus, along with Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, taught the core principle of Stoicism: focus only on what is within your control. Everything else? Let it go. In your control. Your thoughts, your reactions, your actions, not in your control. Other people's opinions, the past, the future, random events. The problem is, most of us spend 90% of our mental energy obsessing over things we cannot control. Imagine if you reclaimed that energy and focused it on yourself, on your mindset, your growth, your decisions. Practical exercise. Next time you're stressed, write down the problem. Draw 2 columns, in my control and not in my control. You'll be surprised how small the first column is and how freeing that is. When you accept this, anxiety starts to dissolve, not because the world changed, but because you did. 2. The crisis of identity. Socrates and self-knowledge. Have you ever asked yourself, who am I really? Not the version of you that you post online, not the version that your parents, teachers, or society expects, but the real you. Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, spent his entire life asking one question: what does it mean to know oneself? Know thyself. Socrates. Today, identity feels more confusing than ever. Algorithms feed us constant images of what we should look like, how we should act, what success should mean. It's easy to confuse other people's expectations for our own purpose. Socrates taught that an unexamined life is not worth living, meaning if you go through life on autopilot, never questioning your beliefs, desires, or purpose, then you're not truly living. You're just existing. So, ask yourself, who are you when no one's watching? What values actually matter to you, beyond likes, beyond status, beyond trends? Practical advice: start a why journal. Each day, write one thing you did, then ask, why did I do this? Repeat that why 3 times until you reach the core reason. Reflect on whether that reason is truly your own or something you absorbed from others. Self-knowledge isn't something you find once, it's something you cultivate daily, and with each step, you reclaim your power. 3. Chasing happiness. Aristotle's blueprint for fulfillment. Let's talk about happiness, or more accurately, why most of us are terrible at finding it. In the modern world, happiness is sold to us. Buy this product, get this body, achieve this goal, and then you'll be happy. But Aristotle, over 2,000 years ago, disagreed. He believed happiness isn't a destination or a feeling, it's a way of living. He called it eudaimonia, the good life. Eudaimonia, human flourishing, a life of meaning and purpose. Aristotle argued that happiness isn't about pleasure, it's about living in alignment with your virtues. That means developing qualities like courage, kindness, honesty, patience, and wisdom. In other words, happiness isn't something you feel, it's something you practice. When you live with integrity, when you pursue excellence not for status but because it's fulfilling, when you grow as a human being, that is happiness. Practical application. Ask, who do I want to become? Not what job you want, but what kind of person. Each day, choose one virtue to practice: patience, honesty, discipline, generosity. When your actions align with your deeper values, happiness becomes a natural side effect, not a chase. 4. The fear of death. Memento mori. Let's face it, one fear runs beneath everything else: the fear of death. Whether we admit it or not, it's there. Fear of wasted time, fear of being forgotten, fear of not having mattered. But the Stoics taught something radical. Instead of avoiding the thought of death, confront it. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. Buddhism teaches a similar truth, that impermanence is the nature of everything. Nothing lasts, not youth, not success, not even suffering. And because life is fleeting, it becomes precious. When you realize that you will die, something magical happens. You stop wasting time on nonsense. You stop arguing over trivial things. You stop waiting for someday to start living. You start loving more freely, forgiving more quickly, and acting more courageously. Practical reflection. Each morning, ask, if today were my last day, what would I do differently? Not as a burden, but as a reminder to live fully and intentionally. Death isn't the enemy of life. Forgetting that you'll die, that's the real danger. 5. The search for meaning. Existentialism meets ancient wisdom. Here's the big question. What's the meaning of life? For centuries, humans looked to gods, institutions, or traditions to answer it. But the existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre and Viktor Frankl argued that meaning isn't handed to us. We create it. The Buddha taught something similar, that life is suffering, but also that we have the power to transcend that suffering by letting go of attachment, embracing compassion, and living mindfully. No one else can define your purpose, not your parents, not society, not even me. It's yours to create. Whether your purpose is to create art, raise a family, serve others, or simply grow into the best version of yourself, that's your path, and it's sacred. Practical advice: write your own purpose statement. Not something grand, just a simple sentence about what matters most to you right now. Live by it. Review it often. When you realize that life has no fixed meaning, you become free. Free to write your own story. Modern problems feel overwhelming, but ancient wisdom shows us they're not new and they're not unsolvable. Focus only on what you can control. Know yourself. Practice virtue. Remember, life is fleeting, and write your own meaning. If this video resonated with you, share it. Spread the wisdom. Let's build a community of thoughtful people in a noisy world. Subscribe for more. Stay curious. Stay courageous. And remember, you are the author of your own life. Ancient wisdom for modern problems. Thank you for watching.